We are live. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Boutique CEO with Christine Williams. I'm Christine Williams. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I hope you are trying to stay cool. I don't know about you guys, but here in North Carolina, oh my gosh, it has gotten so hot. Sitting out on the deck today, I was like, oh my gosh, it's not only hot, but it's humid. Yeah, not so much fun. All right, let's dive in. This is what we're getting into today. So, there is a gap that I'm seeing that tends to happen when we are looking to create more clients, right? And a lot of times we might have people that are working with us saying, I absolutely love working either with you, or I love being in your group, or I love your content, or you get a lot of the likes, or you get engagement, and yet you're not actually getting the yeses. So, for the past several weeks, this is actually week three, I have been taking you through the ladder of beliefs, which is the psychology of making more soulful sales. And so, if you are a health coach, life coach, spiritual coach, menopause coach, intuition coach, functional nutritionist, culinary nutritionist, fitness coach, like this is for you. So, who am I to be able to be delivering this? I'm Christine Williams. I have over 30 years experience as a wellness entrepreneur. I started with $25 in my pocket and built my business from scratch, creating over $3 million in my business today. And this ladder of beliefs was, if I was to take a look at some of the big game changers, needle movers, this was one for me. The ladder of beliefs, understanding the ladder of beliefs, understanding the psychology behind why people buy or don't buy, the psychology between why people believe that it's possible for them or it's not possible for them. And this is a timeless principle. This, which is really good because this ladder of belief is not going to be dependent on chasing an algorithm, doing dancing on TikTok, or following any trends. This is actually a timeless principle that I teach inside of my Activate program so that people can learn more how to message and create the belief, because believers are what becomes buyers, right? It's not that people understand what it is that you're doing or that they understand what's inside of your program. They have to actually go up the ladder of beliefs in order to believe things at a very certain step. And so we're going to dive into step three and step four. If you have missed step zero or step one and step two, definitely go back into into my Substack or on the podcast for the previous 3 weeks, Tuesdays, and you can find those. All right, let's dive in. So we're now at step three. We've already started with step zero, which is I have to be enrolled in me, right? I have to have the belief that I am all in on what it is that I'm delivering, on the mission that I'm here to support people with, the results that I feel like I can actually absolutely show up and support people with. We have to be enrolled in ourselves first because nobody can be enrolled outside of that if we're not first enrolled in ourselves, right? People are going to feel it. They're going to feel it energetically. It's going to come through with your content. There's going to be hesitation. You're not going to actually be able to move people effectively through the ladder of belief so that they can say yes to what it is that they want to say yes to and come work with you. So step zero was all about being enrolled in yourself first. Then step one, which is what we covered last week, we covered step one and step two last week, which was I believe that the transformation that I am looking for is possible somewhere in the world. I don't quite believe it's possible for me yet, but I'm seeing some people making changes. I'm seeing some people living the life that I would like to live. I'm seeing people having the results, whether it's losing the weight, healing their gut, sleeping through the night, getting rid of the menopause belly fat, building a business, being able to create amazing meals that make you feel good. Whatever it is, step one is about believing that the transformation is possible somewhere in the world. Okay. Step two is they are believing that it's possible for them. Okay, so definitely go back to last week's training where we covered step one and step two so that you can actually take a look at what is underneath all of those things, because I also shared some practical applications for what you're going to do. So today we're going into step three, which is it's possible for me now And step four, which is it's possible for me now, and I would like your support. Okay, so we're diving into these two today, and I will share what this looks like for you in your content as well. So if you are someplace where you can grab a pen and a piece of paper, definitely go grab that. By the way, I am taking a group of clients through the Ladder of Beliefs in the Art of Soulful Enrollment starting on July 9th. So just hit soul in the comments if this is something that you want more information about. We only have a few spots left. We actually have 10 enrolled already into the program. It's a very special rate. This is our founding cohort. Even though I've been teaching this since 2018 inside Activate, we're actually pulling this piece out and we're going to do a deep dive for 8 weeks so that you can get all of this dialed in and hit the ground running in the fall. Okay, so let's dive into step three. It's possible for me now. This is where possibility starts to become a decision. Okay, they believe that the transformation that they want, and I'm just going to use, menopause, like losing the menopause belly, because there are a lot of menopause coaches that are out in the world. And so I want to make sure and nutrition coaches, right? And there's a lot of women that are in midlife right now that are kind of struggling with that problem. So by this point, when they get to step three, they already believe that they can actually lose the menopause belly. It's possible in the world for them, and it's possible for them now. They don't have to wait until whatever it is, until life slows down, until they have more confidence, until they, have more money, until they finally, and the kids go away to college or whatever. Right now, they're believing that it's possible for someone like them. And right now, okay, that's super, super important because there are people out there that might believe that they could actually lose the weight, but if they don't believe that it's possible for them right now, then what you're going to hear a lot of is, oh, this isn't the right time for me. Oh, it's too busy. We're doing all of these things on vacation. I need to wait until next year. I need to wait until 3 months ago, right? This all comes into, I actually don't really believe that it's possible for me right now. Okay. So they're waiting for certainty. They're waiting for certainty before they act. And the unfortunate thing is that certainty rarely comes first, right? We don't actually, feel this sense of certainty before we actually do something about it, right? So certainty doesn't necessarily come first. And this is where actually a decision has to come first. I have to believe that it's possible for me now. And I have to be able to make a decision. And this is where your role as a coach or a practitioner or a professional comes in to help them lovingly question the story that says that they have to wait. So remember, we are not about convincing, persuading, overcoming objections here. We're not trying to create pressure. We're trying to actually help them take a look at perspective, help them see what is possible for them right now if they don't wait. Right? Because the truth is there's cost to waiting on everything. It doesn't matter what change we're trying to make. If we wait, then that just is putting off the result for a longer period of time. So what does that cost of waiting actually look like for them in their world? Maybe if we're talking about losing the menopause belly, maybe the cost of waiting is that they're not going to go to the pool with their family, or they don't feel comfortable in a bathing suit, or they are, hiding behind, photos at the, family vacation, right? There's a lack of confidence. There's a lack of feeling really good in their skin, right? So there is a cost to waiting. And that means that we just want to help people instead of teaching them, oh, you really need to do this, or, telling them all of the things to do. This is where we want to help people recognize themselves. We want to help them see, hey, not a problem. This is where you are right now. And what happens if you stay here, right? What happens if there is no movement? How long are you willing to stay in this place, right? And so this is just, again, lovingly opening up some questions to help people see that, oh, yeah, actually, if I want to have this experience over here, I believe the transformation is possible. I believe it's possible for me. And what is it that I would have to believe in order to feel like I'm ready for it now, that I believe the transformation is possible for me? So here's some practical steps that you can do, whether you are on social media, off social media, doesn't matter. I'm going to take you through how you can do this in your Facebook posts, in your Substack articles, in your emails, in your DMs, in your live videos, right? It doesn't, we're going to give you a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. So let's just start with Facebook posts, okay? So here's where you want to share very specific content about maybe it is how you actually navigated it. Maybe it is, the experience that you had when you were first, realizing that, oh my gosh, I'm eating the calories of a toddler and nothing is moving. Or maybe you share, something that's personal, like, yeah, before this is what I did, and this is what it was costing me, and this is how I felt, right? And now this is how things have changed. So you're basically telling stories about times that you have acted before you even felt ready, right? So I'm going to give you an example just in my personal life. When I started to build and grow my business, I had to act before I actually felt ready. I didn't have the A to Z framework, template, blueprint on what to do. I had to actually say yes, even though I only had $25 on my bank account, and make the decision first that yes, it is possible for me and it's possible for me now. And I have to make the decision even though I don't feel ready, because the cost is that I've got three kids at home and I need to be able to take care of them, and I need to be able to put food on the table, and I need to be able to earn back the money that I invested in getting my functional nutrition certification, my health and life coaching certification, my massage therapy certification, right? Waiting would only delay being able to pay off my debt and actually have the income that I needed to put my kids through college and, pay off my car and any other loans, right? So the story that we want to share is that the breakthrough that you experience and that your client can experience too, it doesn't come because they suddenly feel confident. The breakthrough comes when they're actually deciding to do something different even before the confidence arrives. Okay. So if you've got Substack and you want to do this inside of notes or articles, then you could write some like reflective essays, right? Like, why waiting is actually hurting your metabolism, or why waiting is, actually going to cost, whether it's a relationship with being able to, with yourself, or being able to really enjoy vacation, right? It could be, the life or the love for yourself that you're experience is that you're wanting is actually based on one decision at a time. So really what you want to do with your articles is invite readers to reflect on where they're waiting instead of where they're actually taking action, and how that is affecting them. How is that keeping them stuck? Okay. In your emails, what you want to do is you want to help your readers picture their future, right? So think about this as outcome forward, right? Where do they actually want to be 1 year today? What happens if nothing changes? What would their future self say to them deciding today? Right. So we want to actually paint the picture of the life that they're living and they're experiencing when they already have the result. Okay. In the DMs, if you are having conversations with people in the DMs, we're not trying to sell, we're trying to actually become curious. Like, what feels like the biggest thing keeping you from taking the next step to releasing the weight, or getting a better night's sleep, or finally feeling self-confident in your sundress, whatever it is. And another great question that you could ask is, well, what would have to happen for you to feel ready, right? Then what we're doing is we're basically changing the belief of, I don't have time, this isn't possible for me, I should just wait until later. And we actually want them to envision, well, what would have to happen for me to be ready, right? Like, so then we start thinking about what's possible, right? Well, in order for me to feel ready, I would, whatever it is, I would have to have certain beliefs around me, around the world, around other people, right? So these are just curious questions. We're not shaming anybody. We're not hustling anybody. We really just want to become curious and ask questions so that they can see what's possible for themselves, right? And then we just gently help them notice that actually many of those conditions may never arrive, right? Like if they keep saying, well, in order for me to be ready, I would have to have all of the money in the bank at one time in order to invest in your coaching program. Well, the truth is, rarely do we have all of the money that we want at one time, right? Nobody has a savings account for a health coach, right? They don't wake up and go, let me go hire a health coach today, right? It actually is a little bit different. It's, hey, I really am like done with dealing with this. I'm done being up for 2 hours in the middle of the night. And I have to get a handle on this because it's costing me this. And if I don't, I'm just going to keep waking up tired, living off coffee, stopping by donuts, living off sugar, whatever it is. Okay. So we want to make sure that when we are supporting them, that we're just reflecting back that, you know what? It's actually about making a decision to actually explore finding the resources that we need, right? So if you're doing a live video, then really what you're doing is you're teaching the difference between waiting and preparing, right? So what would it look like if instead of waiting until this, whatever finish line is that they're looking for, right, is there, what would be the difference between waiting for that and actually preparing? Right? Explaining that confidence is often the result of action. It's not the requirement for it. Gosh, you guys, write that down, please. Confidence is the result of action. It's not the requirement for it, right? The way that we feel confident is by doing the thing even when we don't feel ready, right? It is not, confidence is not a requirement. Like, well, when I feel confident, then I'll actually reach out to somebody. Well, when I feel confident, then I'll tell people I'm a coach. Well, when I feel confident, then I'll invest in having support. Like that doesn't happen. It is the decision and taking the action that going through those emotions creates the momentum and actually creates the confidence, right? So you want to share maybe some client stories that illustrate the transformation, right? The clients that maybe weren't quite ready in their own mind, but they actually made a decision, followed through on the action steps that you were helping them with, and they actually ended up with the transformation on the other side. Okay. So if I was to think about this in terms of, my business, I would be sharing client stories of people who either came into the Success Studio or Six Figure Foundations. And, before they came in, they were really, really struggling with their ideal client. They weren't sure like who they were here to serve. They were unclear about creating a high value, high converting lead magnet. They didn't have an email list. They didn't have anybody on their email list or in their Facebook group. And by the end of the program, they had, a couple hundred people on their email list. They had a high converting, high value lead magnet. They were showing up confidently because they knew how to talk about what it is that they were here to do. And they knew exactly who their ideal client was that were ready, yes, people to work with them. Okay. So remember, your goal when we are on step 3 of helping people see that it's possible for them is not to create urgency or fear. It's to help somebody lovingly make the decision that they're done waiting. Okay. So we're helping them move from believing that it's possible into a personal decision. And the decision is, I believe that it's possible for me right now. I believe it's possible for me now. I'm no longer willing to sit on the sidelines anymore. I might not actually know exactly what to do yet. And then they get to move into this step 4. Okay. So step 4 is I believe that the transformation is possible for me now, and I want your support, right? So super, super important. There's a really big distinction between these two. One is I believe it's possible for me now. I'm ready to do something about it. But the other one is, and I want your support. So now your ideal client has made a very important decision. They believe, they're ready, and the remaining question that you want to help them with is, do they want support, right? And here's where many of you are getting stuck. Many of you are jumping into actually explaining the offer. You're talking about this is a 12-week program. It's got 12 calls. We're going to meet live on Zoom. You start talking about all of the features instead of helping somebody believe in what mentorship actually does. The mentorship itself, like what is the experience that she's going to get to have with you? Why does support change everything? Right? Not because they can't do it on their own if they really, really try hard enough, right? But because growth happens faster with fewer detours. And this is important when somebody who's already walked the path walks beside you. right? I know that I could have continued to duct tape and popsicle stick my business together with freebies or master classes or just watching what people were doing online. But honestly, that was the slow road. And I made a lot of mistakes along that way doing it. And so I had to decide, you know what, I'm done. I believe that it's possible for me. I believe it's possible for me to build a six-figure business now. And I actually want support. I want somebody that's going to help me. I want the rafting guide, that's going to help me navigate along the river and know where the rapids are, know where the boat might capsize, and know how to navigate the nuances. So remember, this isn't about convincing them that they need more information. This is about helping them believe in mentorship and support to help them get the result that they want quicker than if they could do it on their own, right? So what might this look like in your content? Let's talk about what this looks like, okay? So again, grab your pencil, grab your piece of paper, your pen. This stage is not necessarily about proving your expertise. It's about demonstrating your hospitality, your service, the experience that your clients might have in your world. What does the experience look like when they're in your world, right? So, in regards to your Facebook posts, this is where you can start sharing some social proof. So, sharing client stories, celebrating your client wins, highlighting transformation, maybe even posting some behind the scene moments from coaching calls, right? I love to share photos when I go away and I'm doing the retreat because people can actually see, like, hey, I'm a real person. Look at people that are actually getting results at our retreat. And that actually helps people believe that they want to be part of that too. Right? So let people also experience your community before you join it, right? So for example, you can, share something inside of your Facebook group. If you've got a Facebook group, let them experience, what happens maybe on your coaching calls, right? Like, hey, on my coaching call today, I'm so excited to share that, my client actually reached out to four people and two of them said yes, and she just had a $5,000 a day. Holy cow, that's amazing, right? For you, you could talk about something that happened on the coaching call, right? Where your client was stuck and she was experiencing something really, really frustrating. And by the end of the call, she had an epiphany or aha or insight, or maybe she text messaged you something and you could share that too. Okay. So, really, what we're doing right here is we're building the belief that I want to be in that room. Okay. I want to be in that room. I want that type of support. I want to have those type of results. Like, I want to be supported like that. Okay. If you are writing on Substack, you could write pieces like how, your client actually share a client's story, maybe do a case study, right? You can do a case study of, multiple people when they moved through your programs. You can also write things about how, your client moved through and had this experience quicker when she wasn't trying to do it alone, right? So maybe talking about all of the times that she, downloaded the book, watched the video, tried the thing, and kept either gaining the weight back or kept having an issue. But when she finally got the support that she needed, she got the support, she got your system, she got the accountability, she actually started having amazing experiences. You can also share what actually happens inside of your coaching programs, right? And also, oh my gosh, you guys, this is so important. Why is support a growth strategy or a transformation strategy and not a weakness, right? So many of us have what I like to call lone wolf syndrome, right? We're like, oh, I'm just going to do it myself. It's cheaper if I do it myself, right? Let me just buy the book. Let me just get the DIY course because it's cheaper. But the problem with that is that is just having access to information, and information does not equal transformation, my friends, okay? What creates transformation is actually having the support from somebody to help them navigate the nuances. And so, really, really important that you are helping your person see that actually it's not doing it on their own. Lone wolfing it is actually going to take a lot longer time. It's going to cost more time. It's going to cost more money. If they're buying all the supplements, if they're buying whatever it is, the medications, right? Like how much more money are they going to spend where they are without actually having the support? In your emails, you can actually pull back the curtain. So again, you can, very similar to what's happening on Substack, what you're doing on Substack, you could actually just share what happens on a coaching call, talk about the conversations that you're having with your clients, celebrate your client breakthroughs, invite your audience, your email readers into your philosophy, help them feel a part of your movement. Okay. And remember, your emails, we want them to feel like they're already part of your community. Okay. Like you're speaking to them, they are in your community, they opted in. And so we really want to make them feel like they're actually part of that. If you are in the DMs, here's some ways that you could do that. So, for example, you always want to ask permission. This is so, so important. And this is actually one of the things that I teach inside the Art of Soulful Enrollment is that whenever we are inviting somebody to explore either working with us or we've got an idea, we always want to ask permission first. So, for example, I have a thought that might help with this. Would you like me to share it? I have a thought that might help with this. Would you like me to share it? Or based on what you shared, I think that one of my programs could really support you. Would you like to hear how it works? Would you like to explore what happens in there and whether or not it might be a good fit for you? So, permission is actually keeping the conversation relational instead of transactional, right? We're not saying, hey, you know what? I think that you should buy my thing. We're actually asking permission first. Can I share the details? I have a thought. Could I share it with you? Would you like to explore? Could I share what that might look like? Okay. In your live videos, you can take people behind the scenes, right? So you could actually teach a framework like I'm doing right now, guys, right? So this is week 3. For the past 3 weeks, I've been going live on Tuesday, sharing the ladder of beliefs. And I'm taking you behind the scenes. I'm teaching you the framework, right? And people often enroll because they get to experience what it's like to actually finally have some epiphanies or some ahas or some light bulb moments. Some other ways that you could do that on live is you could actually show your coaching style, right? You could coach someone live, you could answer questions live. That's another way that people can actually not just see the value, but they can actually see, yep, I actually want more of that. Okay. And at this point, by the time somebody gets to step 4, invitations become really, really natural. Why? Because there is no convincing or persuading at this point. They already believe the transformation is possible for them, it's possible for them now, and they want your support. Right. So again, you are not trying to convince or persuade somebody that they need you. They already believe that. They already want you. So instead of convincing, all you're doing is extending hospitality, right? So for example, you can just invite them, would you like to explore what support might look like for you. So it's a natural invitation to bring them up on your front porch, right? Have a seat on that porch swing and talk to them like they're already clear that they want to work with you. They are just not sure where, right? So they don't know what your offers are. They don't know what is the best fit for them. And so you are simply inviting them. An invitation is natural. It's easy. You're inviting them to take the natural next step, which is exploring which one of your offers in your offer suite is going to help them get the result in the fastest period of time. Okay. Next week, we're going to talk about step 5, which is the final step, which is, and I'm willing to explore resources like, yep, I'm all in. I want that program. And I'm willing to do whatever it is that I need to do to find the resources, make the investment, have the conversation, whatever it is. Okay. So remember, when we are sharing content, and look, content is more than just posting, right? Content is your emails, it is your lives, it's your videos, it's your notes, it's what it is that you do and how it is that you're showing up. The intention is not to convince, not to pressure, not to chase, not to manipulate, but just open a door and help people to believe that you can help them and that they trust you and that they want to actually have the support. Okay. So doesn't that feel amazing, right? There is no convincing, there is no persuading. All you're doing is consistently building belief, nurturing trust, extending a warm invitation to their next chapter of their journey. So much fun. Seriously, you guys, like this is actually so much fun. And here's why I think it's fun, because I'm helping them believe in themselves. I'm helping them believe in the possibility for themselves. I'm not trying to convince or persuade or close the deal. That's all about me. I'm actually being a stand for somebody else. I'm a stand for what I know is possible for them, and I'm helping them get whatever it is that they want. So if you've been listening to the series, this is week 3. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to have our final one. But if you want to go deeper into the ladder of beliefs, I would love to personally invite you into the art of soulful enrollment. This is over 8 weeks. I'm going to show you exactly how to create content that does exactly what it is that I'm sharing, how to build trust, how to nurture trust, how to start meaningful conversations, how to naturally enroll paying clients, invite them to take that next step without scripts, without manipulative sales tactics, without trying to convince or persuade somebody with things that don't align with actually who you are. So here's what you're actually going to learn. By the end of the 8 weeks, you're actually going to walk away with content that you're going to actually create the content with me. You're going to have my eyeballs with you. This is all live. These are not recorded modules, right? We're going to help you create that content each week so you know exactly what to write, what to share in whatever on whatever platform you want, in whatever capacity you want, that helps move people through the ladder of beliefs. We're going to help you turn likes and comments into genuine conversations if you are on social. If you are using email, you're actually also going to invite people to reply back, and that also engages in conversations. You're going to be able to make invitations that actually feel like hospitality instead of pressure. And you're going to be able to confidently enroll more people and more of the right people into your programs. Okay, so from today's the 30th, by Thursday evening at midnight, you can get in at the special rate of just $697. Friday morning, that rate goes back up to regular price, which is $997. Okay, so if you're ready to stop wondering how to attract more clients and start become the kind of leader and coach that people naturally trust, they naturally want to work with, I would be so honored to support you. Truly, this is something that I love to teach because this takes the salesy out of making soulful exchanges in your business. It's so much fun. The door is wide open. I would love to welcome you inside. I'm going to share the details in the comment of the show notes. So if you are listening to the Boutique CEO podcast, check the show notes. We will make sure that we've got the information page there. If you are watching me live on Substack, please go ahead and just comment soul in the comments. If you are watching me live on YouTube or on Facebook, same thing, just comment soul. When you comment, that actually creates a notification so that I can reach out and I will just share the details with you. If you want to hop on a quick chat with me, not a problem. Happy to do that. I don't do discovery sessions. My job, again, is not to try to drag you across the finish line. But if you believe that creating soulful exchanges and being able to understand how the psychology of how people just go through these 5 steps, I would love to have you join me. All right, my friends, that's all for this week. Be sure to join me next week when we are getting to our final step, which is, yep, I'm here, I'm ready, and I am willing to explore finding the resources, having the conversation, navigating the nuances to say yes to the transformation that I desire and invest in your programs. All right, my friends, have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.